today's video, I'll be separating fact from the myth around the question, are Filipinas really all that? So if you want the truth as well as a large dose of reality, then be sure to buckle up and stay with me here. Just to be clear on what I'm basing the information in this video on is around my 10 years or so of dating and marrying a Filipina, as well as talking to literally hundreds, maybe even thousands of men and Filipinas in the 6 or 7 years I've had this channel for. Now, anyone who tells you that all Filipinas make wonderful wives or great partners are not telling you the truth, or they have a distorted view. Now really, I hear this all the time. I'm happy that these guys are happy in their relationships with Filipinas, but they're only drawing on their own relationship, which frankly is a very narrow view. It's much the same as guys who had 1 or 2 bad dating experiences with Filipinas where they may have been scammed, and so now they'll tell the world that all Filipinas are scammers. Now clearly, neither of these two views are factually correct, and I'm sure one doesn't need to be Einstein to work out why. But simply, no matter what country we're talking about, there are good and bad women everywhere. The challenge is for us men to know the difference so we can find one of the good ones. Now let me make it clear that I do believe there are more good than bad when we talk about Filipinas, despite all the scam videos you may see on YouTube. If I look at my relationships here in Australia from the age of 18 through to 49 with Australian women, then I compare it to what I have in the past 10 years with my Filipino wife, well simply, they are like chalk and cheese. My wife, although not perfect, really has committed to me and our life together here in Australia. The love, care and loyalty is second to none, which brings about the feeling of huge contentment, which sadly I'd never experienced in Australia before. Now of course, I'm not the only happy man married to a Filipina. As I said, I speak to such men all the time, so I know there are many of us out there, which of course tells us that there are many wonderful, caring, loyal and loving Filipinas also. The harsh truth of it all is that if you're looking for a genuine, loving Filipina whom you can be happy with for the rest of your life, then you need to take responsibility to make it happen. So how do you do this, you may ask? Well, firstly, I acknowledge that no relationship anywhere in the world is ever guaranteed to succeed long term. But there are so many things that one can do to put the odds more in your favour, and this especially is so with Filipinas, because for many, they do value their relationship and family. Of this, I'm 100% sure. So by learning about Filipinas, their culture, beliefs, family, right down to their province or city where they live, you can be sure that you'll be on the right path for success and happiness. But that's only the prep work. Then you need to find a Filipina who's honest and genuine, who'll be compatible with you. So simply, you need to have a good understanding of the type of woman you're seeking, and this is something that you need to give great consideration to. Now remember that a Filipina in her early 20s will naturally change much more in life than a more mature woman. So that's something one should really consider. Should she speak good English? Well, many Filipinas can speak some English, and there are also some who speak a little or very little English. Even the ones who may be able to speak reasonable English may have some difficulty in understanding foreign sayings or words. Then we look at what sort of education should she have that's important to you. And is she currently employed, and is she used to working? Now for some guys, around education and employment, it's not important, but for others, it really is. So you need to work out what's good for you, and what are you looking for in your Filipina or your potential Filipina. So what qualities should she have around being attractive, average looking, or super hot? Everyone again is very different in what they're seeking. And finally, should she be honest, open with sharing information about her family and many other things that may be important to you. So I'm sure you get the picture. Once you set out for your search to find your Filipina, whether it be in the Philippines or online, you need to be very observant and patient, because the right woman is not likely to be the first one that you'll set your eyes on. You'll need to take time to chat with her, and over time build the conversation into more meaningful dialogue and understanding. Now, don't expect her to tell you all about her life and deepest secrets in the first few weeks. The same as I wouldn't recommend that you do that either. Build the chat, and remember, if you're not with her in the Philippines, then you're simply chat mates, learning about each other to decide if there's a possible connection. But whether in the Philippines or online, always watch what she says and how she says it. Not only is this showing her that you're interested in what she has to tell you, it also allows you to pick up on her body language to give you a feel around if she's being honest with you. Now, if you're with her in the Philippines, the relationship is more likely to progress faster than online, simply because you're connecting with each other daily. You can interact more personally with her family and friends, and of course, grow real intimacy. For those many of you online, the progress should really be slower. There's no need for you or the Filipino to try and fast track it. Now, it can be rather common for older men to speed it up because they may feel lonely and they want to secure this beautiful Filipina before she gets away. And for the Filipina, she may speed it up because of very similar reasons. She knows that there are many Filipinas that may try and steal her foreign man. Now, a word of warning here. What we see many times that leads to disaster are these men who think they can buy the Filipina's love with his money, or he thinks he can save her from a poorer life. So they start sending her money on a regular basis. What this does in any new relationship, it puts the focus on the money rather than the relationship. At least for the Filipina it will, and that's not a good way to start any new relationship. As I say, build the relationship, go from chat mates to a dating relationship once you've met in person, and spend a good amount of quality time together, and only then, if it's all good between the two of you, then perhaps you may wish to send her a small amount of money. I've even known men who won't give her money until they marry, which certainly has merit to that line of thought. But if you're going to do that, remember that the Filipina may then be more in a hurry to walk you down the aisle. Let me say that finding a caring, loving and loyal Filipina is not really all that difficult, because as I said at the start of the video, there are many of them out there who will make amazing wives. But you can be sure that the responsibility falls directly on you to set a direction much like I've outlined here. And you certainly will increase your chances of finding true happiness like me and many others have found. If you have any questions, thoughts or comments, please share them and I'll be sure to reply. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay safe and take care.